He's going with you.
A phantom pain reflects the invisible discomfort associated with the loss of arms and legs, but not necessarily the loss of ownership itself. Here, it also means that Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain coincidentally mirrors Kojima Productions' loss of the Metal Gear franchise as it slips from the creative minds of Kojima and his crew and into the spiteful, pachinko-riddled hands of the out-of-touch business overlords at Konami. Snake's latest and most expansive mission could be, and probably is, his final one. So does he go out in a way that'll make the series proud? Let's find out here in this review of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain.
What took you so long?
We'll talk, but not here.
Mentioning Metal Gear is usually met with the snarky, overplayed quip of the series' knack for long stretches of cutscenes between short stretches of gameplay. The Phantom Pain seems designed to address that criticism, which has resulted in a game that is almost purely about the gameplay. And my, what gameplay it is. Every Metal Gear Solid has gradually got more open and ambitious, eventually leading up to this, a huge open world. But what's more inviting than the spacious land is the freedom within the mission design. The tiny sampling of objective types is almost a non-issue because of the intimidating array of options that are open before and during a mission. Assembling an arsenal that fits your playstyle is encouraged, and the constant flood of new gear ensures that new toys to tinker with will always be around the next corner. A new gun or upgrade can change your style completely, and the sheer variability ensures that everyone will exit the chopper with a different loadout. Every loadout changes how strategies unfold or how improvising can happen, which is the single best thing about the Phantom Pain. Many games construct an illusion of a sandbox when, in reality, they are just as restrictive as linear games. Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed brag about their large lay of the land, only to punish the player if a specific set of rules aren't followed. This mindset is directly at odds with the ideology of their oft-boasted about sandboxes. The Phantom Pain embraces the openness of its open world, giving flexible objectives that bend and change depending on your failures and successes. Let's say that you need to follow a target to get information, but you cause an alert before he reaches his destination. Most games would end right there, but here this will only send him on a different path and force you to think how you could gather that information elsewhere. Maybe there's a prisoner with that intel, or there could be a secret document hiding about that pops up if you interrogate the right guard. Splintering paths like this dictate where the mission goes and are ingeniously and seamlessly woven into each campaign mission, which deflates the similarity of most objectives and lets the satisfaction of experimentation run free. Testing out theories and different tactics is a big part of why the open mission design is so fantastic. Since you are rarely slapped with a fish and mailed screen when you blow it, it gives credence to the why not philosophy instead of sticking to tried and true strategies. Alerts don't feel as much of a punishment now either, given the absence of an on-screen clock. Without a ticking timer, transitioning to a different playstyle is much smoother and vanquishes the internal fail state of a traditional alert. Retrying isn't easy either, forcing you to face your consequences head on and improvise if you must. And improvise you will. There are so many different systems at play that unexpected events will happen and unscripted awesomeness will occur. Witnessing an unscheduled series of events unfold right in front of you makes every moment more intimate because it's your moment. It's emergent gameplay at its finest and most flawless. Praise this high would be null if the sneaking was subpar. Like Ground Zeroes before it, guards are extremely intelligent and nimble, putting Snake's new gadgets and abilities to the test. This is a direct balance to the amount of gear you can bring into battle that would make any other Metal Gear game a cakewalk. Guards will even change if you bank on certain strategies too much, as they will start equipping flashlights or helmets if you sneak in at night and pop off a lot of headshots. Even though the grand scale of finding your way to infiltrate is gratifying, the smaller, more intimate moments are held up by the girth of the toolset and the dynamic difficulty of the opposition. The thankful inclusion of the slow motion reflex mode reflects this newfound difficulty and keeps the alert from going off every few minutes. The other half of Metal Gear's successful formula has been the complex storyline. Big Boss awakens after his coma that he was put in at the end of Ground Zeroes, and revenge becomes his sole focus. The narrative is built on an inverse bell curve. The awesome, surreal intro is quickly succeeded by a whole lot of missions of finding different nameless dudes that might know a thing or two about Cypher, the antagonistic organization led by Skullface. Not much happens until the end, when you're met with a Metal Gear Solid 2-esque info dump with a 10 or so minute monologue that makes as much sense as needing scissors. 61. If that was it, then this story would be wholly unsatisfying, neither capturing the oddity that fans have come to love, nor the robot nuke politics that permeate every game. But the post-credits second chapter begins and adds some much needed spice. Despite the pacing issues in both acts and the clear appearance of cut content, the twists are something that I can't stop thinking about. Most of the characters are fairly simplistic or one note, but the one that sticks out the most is the sniper Quiet. She's a complete badass, having some of the coolest scenes in the series' history, along with being a great partner during missions. This comes at direct odds with how she is portrayed. Kojima has made a point to say that she was dressed in a bikini for a good reason. Not only is the reason awful, made up nonsense, her creepy sexualization goes too far. She even showers for you and lays with her bra off in her cell. The whole thing just feels like a creepy, voyeuristic objectification of the most interesting character in the game. Quiet deserves better than this, and Kojima has done better than this. She's only part of your team too if you recruit her, which is another huge part of the Phantom Pain. Like Peace Walker, you can strap a balloon to a guard and put him on your budding Diamond Dog's base. This serves as a gameplay justification of building the iconic Outer Heaven, and also gives the excuse to have an expansive RPG layer in the game. You assign soldiers to different factions of your base, giving the option to invest in better gear as they level up and as you gather better soldiers. Building your HQ becomes a natural and necessary downtime between exhaustive missions, and seeing what gear you can attain becomes devilishly addictive. It attaches a very real benefit to not killing soldiers, and given how this system feeds into everything, it becomes a fantastic, fleshed out set of mechanics. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain can seem disappointing in some terms when compared to its past. Boss fights aren't as prevalent as they used to be, cutscenes have been severely downsized, the story doesn't make as much sense until the post-credits second act, the microtransaction-based multiplayer mode is scummy, David Hayter isn't Snake, but that comes in exchange for a gorgeous open world ready for you to pillage in a multitude of different ways. This, in a way, is your Metal Gear, since it gives you the gear and liberty to customize how you want to play it to such a fine and variable degree. Stealth gameplay has never been better, and makes this the new gold standard for the entire genre. As sorrow fills me when I realize that this is probably the last real Metal Gear Solid game, I realize that this is the game in the franchise that has been elevated to its mechanical limit, and that makes me happy. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain gets a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you everybody for watching, and my name is Michael Larry, and I'm signing off. Later.